Hello and welcome back to the Shed Geek Podcast. Here's a message from our studio sponsor. Let's be real. Running a shed business today isn't just about building great sheds. The industry is changing fast. We're all feeling the squeeze, competing for fewer buyers while expectations keep climbing. And yet, I hear from many of you that you are still juggling spreadsheets, clunky software, or disconnected systems. You're spending more time managing chaos than actually growing your business. That's why I want to talk to you about our studio sponsor, ShedPro. If you're not already using them, I really think you should check them out. ShedPro combines your 3D configurator, point of sale, RTO contracts, inventory, deliveries, and dealer tools all in one platform. They even integrate cleanly into our Shed Geek marketing solutions. From website lead to final delivery, you can quote, contract, collect payment, and schedule delivery in one clean workflow. No more double entries, no more back and forth chaos. Quoting is faster, orders are cleaner. And instead of chasing down paperwork, you're actually running your business. And if you mention Shed Geek, you'll get 25% off all setup fees. Check it out at shedpro.co/ShedGeek. Thank you, ShedPro, for being our studio sponsor, and honestly, for building something that helps the industry.
Welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek Podcast, coming to you from Metropolis, Illinois, where it is maintaining a little bit of warmth. We stepped back for just a couple days into the 30s, but now we're back up in the 50s, and spring is surely right around the corner. Today, I'm joined by Adam Bruno of KGH up in Alberta. And also of Shed Sales Professionals, semi-fame at this point, putting out some really good, helpful videos on Shed Sales Professionals. Before we get rolling, just a couple of quick things to help you listeners stay plugged in. Of course, the Shed Geek call-in line, Shannon's cell phone, is 618-309-3648. You can email us anytime, info at shedgeek.com. Of course, we always have the contact forms up on the website, so do not hesitate to reach out. The Shed Sales Professionals group, just like we talked about with Adam, contributing to that. The call-in line for any of you out there listening who know someone in the plane community, know a neighbor who would appreciate being able to call in versus having to use a web-based application. That is 330-997-3055. So, with all of that out of the way, today I'm joined by Adam Bruno. Adam, as I said when you first jumped on, good to have a fellow curly-haired man on the podcast. You know, we're coming back in fashion.
Yeah, no, it's a trend. It's taken over now.
You even let it grow down the back a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of they call it a modern mullet.
Right. A little flow cut.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier to maintain. I probably need a haircut like every 2.5-3 months. So that's really nice.
Cost cutting, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's all business. It's all business.
Yeah.
Well, you're from Canada. I was sharing with you that my wife is also from up there. That is also a great hockey playing haircut that you've got there. You know, so fitting well up in your home country. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Adam. I think you've been doing a great job on Shed Sales, just sharing some good knowledge and really trying to help people out. Tell us who you are. Tell us how you got into sheds. You're obviously a young guy and you've come at this with a ton of enthusiasm. So hit us with it, man.
Yeah, for sure. So a little bit about me. I was in business marketing there at university. And my dad, he kind of came to me with this. He was in contact with the shop manager here in Alberta, and he kind of saw what they're all doing, and asked to become a dealer. And we got some buildings on our lot there in June of 2023 is when I was first kind of introduced to this. I was like, okay, what the heck are these things? Like sheds, buildings, what do you even consider them as, right? And then in September, I was still in school, university while doing this, but I posted like a couple marketplace listings, expecting like some amazing things to happen. Like, you reply and then people are instantly wanting to buy from you, which that's just not the case, right? You gotta work your leads. Like I've never done sales before, so I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
But yeah, I saw that then, and then graduated at the end of that year then. And then 2024 was a bit interesting. I was trying out some local marketing things here in Edmonton and seeing what kind of stuck, but nothing was really picking up, but still doing my own thing here. And then in summer of 2024 is when I really started to get involved with the sales of the shed. So really dove into it, was on the phone with these people all the time. And a lot of the times I didn't know any of the answers. Like people would ask me over the phone and I had to say, I didn't know, I don't know any of this. Like, even what skids are they? Like, even the basics of that stuff, right? I didn't know any of this. Um, and I would have to call up the shop manager, talk to my dad about that, like, what's up with there. So, me and my dad were doing that then for 2024. And we had some good months, like, pretty good months there sometimes in the summer. But we didn't really have a sales system put in place. A lot of the times, like, we'd be sitting at the dinner table together and then he'd be like, "Oh, you're talking to this guy," and then I'm like, "Yeah, I'm talking to this guy," and he would be talking to the same person, and we'd be talking to two people, like the same person, and trying to sell the same guy. Yeah, a unit. But so I was like,
Doubling
"This
your
just isn't."
chances, really. I
Yeah, doubling them exactly. If the guy doesn't like one person, he'll like the other, right? So,
mean,
but yeah, so it was pretty bad how we had it organized and stuff. So then in January of 2025. I kind of looked into starting like some systems or like a CRM, and I just ended up building out my own. And it worked really well there in January. I was just kind of getting it set up. February then started launching ads, so paid traffic, Facebook, Google, bringing them to. We weren't doing the landing page at that point. It was just basic Facebook forms, which you get a lot more bad
spam.
quality leads. Yeah,
Yeah.
spam. It's easy to do. You need more friction, right? But we stuck with that then. And February was a really good month. And then, yeah, so 2025 was a great year. Just selling the sheds and did it mostly remotely. Like I was able to travel around for about 5 months of the year and still reach some pretty good numbers. And yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at now. And now I'm helping other people as well too with the system. So allowing other people to try it out, use it, and then see the results that it can bring other people too. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I think is most interesting about your story, obviously you're a young guy. You have really come into the shed industry. Now, you may be a little um, not nearly as saturated, I would think, up there, in Edmonton, just the nature of Canada being so big and so spread out anyway. But, you're
mhm.
coming into the shed industry in a time when most people would describe um, the decline as, or the demand as declining, right? People who have been in this thing for, however long, 30 years, 20 years, but particularly the last decade, really
Mhm.
refer to this industry as, kind of pre and post COVID, especially in the States, but really everywhere. That sort of
Mhm.
COVID stimulus that went into the world economy,
Yeah.
really, that then allowed people to kind of make some bigger purchases, especially big consumer purchases. So I think you coming into this at a time when, you know, longer served people would maybe say, oh gosh, right. Adam came into this thing at his timing was awful. He came in at the, as the other side of the bell curve or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
But to me, I think this really just represents how much opportunity there is in sheds, especially whenever you early on, be an early adopter of those systems, of the things that are able to maximize your efficiency and ultimately maximize your sales and then of course your profit, right? And
Um,
make it something that is good. So, maybe, I don't know how much I know you obviously interact a lot with folks online, but maybe just give me a perspective. Like, what does it mean to you to be coming in at a time where others may be like, oh gosh, man, just pick something else. And then you're
yeah.
you're diving in. And I mean, I saw the post, right? You're diving in having a 412K while you're on the beach in Brazil, right? Like,
Yeah.
Are you swimming in leads but struggling to close the deal? It's time to turn those leads into profits with Making Sales Simple, the ultimate sales training program designed specifically for shed sales professionals. At Making Sales Simple, we understand the challenges you face, overwhelmed by inquiries, unsure how to follow up, and missing opportunities that can boost your bottom line. Our proven techniques help you and your team master the art of connecting with customers, building trust, and closing deals like never before. Whether you're new to the industry or a seasoned pro, this training will sharpen your skills, increase your conversions, and drive your business to new heights. Don't let those leads go cold. Invest in your team's success today. Making sales simple, because every lead deserves a closer.
Yeah, no, and I think that's interesting because I did some research too on just the shed industry in general, and it's right now it says it's supposed to grow at like I think it was like around 5.3% over the next 10 years or so. So the demand might be there too for people, but there might be more people getting into it selling, right?
Right.
So and then that will take away from the demand because then more people have more options, right? But I always stress then too, you just got to be the one to stand out, the
Yep.
one to offer. Like I think there's 11 other dealers in Alberta that offer the exact same. I'm a premier dealer, so premier portable buildings sell the exact same buildings as us, but you got to be the one to stand out to them. So some things that I do is one, I'm following up with these people all the time, calling them, one thing, two, instead of just texting them or being a random name behind a screen.
Real
So
relationship, a true
exactly.
relationship.
Exactly. And I mean, well, I don't say all of 95% of my sales, I never actually meet the client. So as you mentioned there, like in Brazil, that was our best month yet. In the month of October, I sold 256,000 Canadian in the month. And it was just talking to these people, following up with them. And I was probably working maybe an hour, 2 hours a day. But again, it's just, you gotta systemize it. What are the inputs that you got to put in, what you got to do every day? So for mine was like, let's say half an hour, just sending out quotes, email quotes to people that inquired, then following up on text messages, marketplace listings, redoing ads, and then calls too, right? So staying on top of them. And then also being always available. Like, I mean, that's just kind of the life of a sales guy.
Yeah.
You have
A
to
successful sales guy.
Exactly. Successful sale. Yes, that's a good thing to say. Yeah. If you're not answering your phone, you're not going to be making many sales. Like there'd be times where I was at the beach and it's like, do I want to be answering a call right now? No, not really. And the thing is too, where I was there, it's 4 hours ahead. So sometimes I would be on the phone closing the sale at 10 p.m. at night
Right.
and it's 6 p.m. back home. You got to be ready there to make those calls, right? So I think it's just a matter of staying on top of these people, following up with them. When you get leads in, gauging where they're at, and then marking it in your system, or if you have a system, to follow up with them on certain dates.
Right.
So
I think, and also to your point there, you said, working 1 to 2 hours a day, meaning like being fully engaged or on the phone, right? Of course, there's the look at your phone, scroll an email or whatever, but like
mhm.
the ability to do that, I have found, and I think that it's becoming more and more true every day, and it also goes to what that marketing strategy, the broader strategy is. But I think the more comfortable a person feels with Adam, right, or Cord, or whoever that salesperson is out there, and I think
Mhm.
that there's an opportunity, and some really independent dealers more so than like big B brand manufacturers, but certainly independent dealers seem to be doing a good job, some of them, of getting their face, their voice, and really, their tone of voice, right? Calm and confident, and just telling you what's going on and building the initial trust through a screen so that by the time your automations or whatever text you have going out, right, by the time it actually gets to the point where they're ready for a call, they feel like they already know and trust Adam.
100%.
So maybe talk to me a little bit about, how you approach that pre I don't even know that there's good terms for all these things yet, right? Like we haven't got into an era where that's all well defined. I would call it like a pre-relationship trust building where someone, it's not about the brand, right? I mean, it's not about trusting McDonald's, so to speak. Like they literally trust Adam, and then Adam gets on the phone. So maybe talk about your approach to how you see some of that.
For sure. Yeah. So one of the biggest things that I utilize is videos. That's something that I learned while I was in school and something that I still think is extremely important for every single business, let alone when you're trying to purchase. Like I know some dealers, they don't sell super high ticket, but some of the sales that I do, they're all the way up to $40,000 for a single unit.
Yeah.
And so when you're trying to get someone to give you their credit card number to put in a $20,000 order online when they haven't ordered it, you got to make sure that they're like, okay, this is a legit business. You're going to get your product, right? Like all these things. So some of the things I do is make YouTube videos, and I posted them on the Facebook page before too, just stressing just basic, simple videos of, it starts off with like a selfie view. I show my face, usually 10 seconds in the initial bit. Hey there, this is Adam with KGH Buildings. Here we got a 16 by whatever, right? You just kind of basic. They see your face, they hear your voice, and then you go walking through the unit, which if you think about it, them watching that video is them going there to your sales lot or your shop and walking you through the building with them, right? So you're explaining it all, except just over the internet, right? So it's important to utilize those tools that we have with online stuff to be able to sell these units, right? So whenever I send out an initial email to anybody, they get the link to our YouTube channel, and then I try to send them 2 videos of similar models or styles to what they're looking for. And instantly they're like, I mean, we're not going for viral views here, right? Like we're looking for a couple hundred people, but you're looking for maybe a dozen people to see this video. Exactly. It's not like you're trying to blow up. You're looking for the people to just watch it. Okay, that's what I want. And the amount of times I get onto a call then with someone and they say, oh yeah, I saw that in that video. I want it like that, or I like that feature. I know you mentioned that in your video. And I'm like, yeah, perfect. So it's not like I'm even sending these people like, or they're already pre-sold on something that I showed them in the video, right? And they get to see that with me too.
And there's a repository there, right? It's smart to host those types of things on YouTube because you can send a very specific, it can be, from a sales point of view, right? You want the customer to feel that you are just being helpful, right? Here is the unit. Here's a little bit about, are you able to go to, I think the manufacturing plant for Premier is close to you, right? Are you able to go down there and do some of that?
Yeah, exactly. So a bit about us too is I think we got 4 units on our lot right now. I'm never at the lot, and the units we maybe sell, I think last year I sold like 5 in stock units. Like it's not like that's what we're pushing. We're always pushing custom just because it's, especially up here, lots of people like spray foam floor insulation, insulated windows, like, or dual pane windows, like that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Right.
So I always go to the shop typically maybe 3-4 times a year. Just make the drive down there. You bring your phone out and go out there. You talk to the guys at the shop, and then you go see what's out there in the yard. And I mean, it's all pre-ordered buildings, but I mean, you get to use it as content, right?
Absolutely.
Are you a dealer who sells multiple products at your shed lot? Are you tired of sifting through clunky or overcomplicated softwares to simply sell a product? If so, it's time to call Cal. Consumer Aligned Logistics is the affordable, simplified, and scalable solution for your shed, carport, or even RTO company. We are partnered with Idea Room and Shed Pro for configurators and have multiple RTO partners to choose from JMag to Heartland to Shed Geek Rentals and Scott's RTO. And if your partner isn't listed here, just ask. We are happy to add more. Give us a call at 425-359-3279 or visit calcanhelp.com. That's CALCANHELP.com.
And your customer, especially, not everyone, not all the listeners are necessarily ultra close, although I'd say within 3 or 4 hours, most everybody is. But again, to your point, the confidence that it gives your customer whenever you are walking through the place where these things are getting built, right? When you are showing what a shed bay looks like, you're building their confidence for exactly what you're saying, right? This guy at least is building sheds. So if he's going to take $20,000 and run, or, like, at least I know that there's a physical location where they have, sheds being built.
Exactly.
It builds that whole trust that you need with the client. And again, using YouTube as the repository means that you send the specific model, but once they land, right, they have a whole catalog of other videos that they could then, click through next, or very likely, the way YouTube is, would probably be suggested to them next, right? So that they can, again, to your point, from a sales perspective, you're showing them the building just like you would on the lot. But from a psychological perspective, before you have ever had any real meaningful contact with them, I presume that most of that is automated on the style side, where you're sending the videos that are similar to whatever they're looking for. Then by the time you're on the phone, they might have already felt like they had, a 15-minute conversation with you, right?
Yeah.
They're in the same situation me and you are right now, where we're just talking.
Exactly. You want to make them feel comfortable, like you were saying earlier, and them watching those videos, it's like you're already on the phone with them for that amount of time, right? They know your name, they've seen your face, they know your voice.
Yeah.
That's just a big thing for sure.
Huge. So maybe this is a little, I don't know, I wouldn't call it controversial, but just poking a little bit at the industry itself. So, like, you're doing a great job on the dealer side. There are obviously brands within the industry, and I would say Premier is one of them. Along with the rest of the big five, big six, kind of wherever you want to put that cutoff now, as some of these companies really grow. Where do you feel like the onus is, because they want to have that brand, right? They want people to show up and ask for their brand of building. But realistically, the work that independent dealers are doing, like, as of today, people are much more likely to ask for a shed from Adam Bruno than they are to ask for any shed by brand name. So I guess my question to you is, like, you're obviously doing good work. I'm sure that you may even have conversations and have a dialogue, with Premier specifically, but I don't want to pick on them. I just mean, like, from that big brand perspective, how do you see this industry evolving? Because, as you said, the demand, the long-term demand actually looks like it's going to start to creep back up. There's definitely going to be some consolidation and smoothing. There's going to be an opportunity in the next 10 years for a couple of these companies to really break out, and have the potential to be a household brand name, if they play their cards right. So give me your perspective, and and you can be as light-handed as you want. Obviously you don't want to make the manufacturers bad.
No, I definitely agree. Like, I mean, that's the thing. You want to be personal with it. And I know the big thing is too with like, we don't have one of the mock-up generators online. We don't use that. I never like sending people to that, just because
You don't have a 3D at all.
no, the reason why I know that's also probably pretty controversial. Like, we do that. Obviously, Premiere has their own,
Right.
but I'm targeting people 40 plus.
Right.
People 40 plus don't typically love technology.
Yeah.
Not to offend anybody, but
Yeah.
like, and a lot of 60-year-olds too. And I mean, are they going to go on to there and try to figure out exactly what they want. I'd much rather spend 5-10 minutes on the phone with them, listen to what they want, and get the quote for them, and do that up myself, right? But I think to that point though, too, smaller manufacturers that are more offering a more centralized. So let's say there's some I don't know, like an Alberta only manufacturing plant that's they're just located there. That's just what they do. That's their brand. That's all. They're not Canada wide, US wide, whatever. I think that would be a great way to branch out for sure.
Yeah, that's almost what it takes, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of what I said. I said a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that the trouble with really trying to establish um, that nationwide branding for a product that is so varied, in what the actual product needs are. I mean, you're sitting here talking about, $20 and $40,000 custom builds. Well, you're in Canada, right? People are getting the insulation, number one. They're getting
Yeah.
the premium products to make sure that the thing can actually stand up to the weather. But I would presume that for a lot of people, they are cabins that they kind of have retreats up there, further, I'm not sure where they're coming from or going to, but
Yeah.
places that are kind of off next to a lake or in the woods or things like that. Am I right about that? I mean, I'm just
Yeah,
guessing
no,
at your
like so lots
marketing.
of people, that's a big thing too. Like, I mean, lots of people do buy these to live in them. And so they need those. And up here it gets to minus 40 Celsius, so minus 40 Fahrenheit, same thing. Like that's a really cold day. But
Yeah.
I mean, even right now it's still pretty cold out. It's like minus 13 Celsius today. But they need like 2x6 studs for the walls, right? They need floor insulation, and that we do spray foam closed cell, so it acts as a vapor barrier too. And then a lot of people they're looking for just like the base of it, right? So we don't do any of the interior finishings. There's one guy that works kind of alongside our shop that does a great job doing the insides, but he's just kind of like a two-man crew that does that. So a lot of people here, they do want to customize them to make them little retreats, like you were saying,
Right.
and even smaller units, like a 10 by 24. They have that for their lake lot that they go out there on the weekend, go maybe ice fishing or whatever in during the summer, then they go out boating or whatever,
Yeah.
right? That's one thing too. I'm definitely going to do this year now is I need to make a little list of all the places that people have bought and then call them up and go visit them and record videos of them actually using the products. Because
Yeah.
if you think that videos of them just sitting on the lot would do well, imagine what that would do for the client to visualize themselves in that unit,
In the
right?
cabin,
So
in the woods,
exactly,
with snow on the
exactly,
ground or a
exactly,
fire in the heat stove or whatever.
exactly.
But
If you're a shed dealer or manufacturer, you already know how to sell the practical solutions your customers are seeking. Storage, utility, livestock shelters offer the fix for those day-to-day pain points. But what if part of your lot could do something more? Playmore Swing Sets and Striker Hunting Blinds are proud to be the exclusive providers of outdoor play equipment and hunting structures for the Shed Geek podcast. Because both brands help dealers do something rare in this industry, increase margins while selling fun. Playmore Swing Sets are tall, colorful, and impossible to miss. They turn your lot into instant eye candy and give families a reason to point, stop, and walk your lot. Striker Hunting Blinds bring the same effect, bold, premier structures that attract serious outdoorsmen and carry strong margins with minimal footprint. Together, these structures give shed dealers a powerful advantage: diversification in your product mix, an expanded customer base, and the ability to sell products on the joy they bring, not just function. If you're interested in learning more, just click the link in this episode's newsletter or dial 330-674-3900 and let us know that you heard us on Shed Geek. Playmore Swing Sets and Striker Hunting Blinds, we sell fun, and you can too.
to that point, the challenge of being all things to all people from that big manufacturer's point of view, to be able to sell, effectively cabin style tiny homes, more or less, or cabin
Mhm.
style tiny home shells in your neck of the woods, and then sell economy models that are effectively ultra price sensitive across the South and the mid South, and then get up into New England and have all of your architectural features. It's really hard to be relevant and have that trust building, that consistent branding and trust building with each
Yeah.
of these different cultures and each of the different products ultimately that you're
Yeah.
delivering. I mean, it's one of these things I've used McDonald's and Burger King several times just because everybody knows. But a McDonald's burger is a McDonald's burger. They're not trying to make you something different in Alberta because it's cold today, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're making the same thing. And you do have the regional chains that then really hone in on their specific area, but it's just very challenging. I've said it's the challenge of kind of doing what you do on a local and a regional level, even because it sounds like you're probably selling what out to three,
Yeah, I
four
sell I
hours.
sell out to BC and Saskatchewan as well. So British Columbia and Saskatchewan. So those are very similar markets in the sense that temperature wise options that we offer. Only the biggest difference is delivery with pilot trucks and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think that that really then lands on the dealer to, especially for the bigger brands, it lands on the dealer to differentiate themselves and show what their products are, what options they have, right? And that's another thing that I use in the videos too, is to show the options, right? Because I mean the number one thing that I always recommend to people is the we offer an overhead garage door instead of the standard roll-up garage door. So it's a significantly better garage door. And that's just something that our shop offers. And most of like I know the shop in BC and the shop in Manitoba where the lots of Saskatchewan buildings come from, they offer that too.
Right.
And that's just something that's a localized thing, right? Like lots of premier dealers down in the States don't have that option. So it's something that you got to show what you can do for your customer.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So how do you see, obviously you've done great. I mean, very quick growth. It sounds like you're posting some big numbers. You're about to roll into the spring.
yeah,
What is this new age perspective on
yeah,
the industry? Like, what do you want KGH to be? Right? Is this
uh,
a company that, like, if you want it to grow, does that mean footprint to you, or does that mean like really just expanding your digital presence? How do you see an independent dealer navigating growth, even growth after you've had success? So
yeah.
what does that next layer of growth look like in this modern era?
Yeah, for sure. No, that's an interesting point too. Like that's one thing we looked at getting into trailers last year. So I know that's a big thing that lots of people do in the States. Ultimately we decided not to do it just because of the one thing is like you need a shop for that, ideally, to if service trailers, if something breaks, right? You want to be able to deal with the customer. And then two, in stock, you always want to people that want trailers want them in stock. But I think branching out to I've thought other product lines, higher ticket, not higher ticket than sheds, but like something
Higher
that,
margin.
yes, higher margins, yeah, instead of just whatever commission, right?
Right, right.
Um, but like something even like wood burning stoves, that's something that lots of people ask about. It's like that'd be an add-on, ramps, or just something that would go alongside. And I think that that's something that I want to look more into instead of because the sales process for the sheds, it's like you got to talk to these people usually at least three times.
Right.
Sometimes I get the person where you call them up the one time and you sell them right there. Like, but
Yeah.
chances of that are pretty slim, right?
Right. Right.
But ideally, it's something or other products that they go and view the catalog online and then they click buy in their cart and then they buy it. Like some,
Right.
I know hunting blinds too, or something that lots of other people are doing too. So
Yeah. Shout
maybe
out Striker. Yeah,
there
that's
you
our,
go.
yeah, Strikers are like exclusive hunting blind provider of Shed Geek podcast. Shout out.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Maybe I
add
need
a
to get hooked
striker.
up with them.
They're good
Maybe I need to
products.
sell them.
They're
Yeah.
good
Okay.
products. They're whisper quiet, but I think it's interesting that that's where your mind goes, um, because even from it sounds like your perspective at least would be still minimal footprint, unless because it sounds like you didn't do trailers because it was going to be that sort of inventory
Yeah.
footprint like shop, so you're still thinking we need to expand products. We're strong in our area, but then you'd be looking at something that's almost probably more like a wholesale warehouse type of a
So,
model, probably, right? Because you wouldn't want to
yeah.
order
So,
one-off wood burning stoves from a company, so you'd
exactly.
warehouse and deliver, or
Something along those lines. And these are just spitballing right now. Like
yeah,
right now we are just doing the sheds, and I mean it's going well. But something in the future to think of to carry more product lines for stuff. And I've seen some other companies here in Alberta that also sell sheds that sell other things that people out in the country when they have a lake lot or just a bunch of land, just selling other things that they would want to have, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. No, I've continued to say, that the company that can figure out how to be it's hard to find like it's hard to think of a directly comparable um like Rural King or Tractor Supply. I don't know if you guys have those up there, but basically that something in
oh,
the neighborhood of a for sheds, maybe call it a 15-20,000 square foot like indoor showroom type of a deal, and then a lot of outdoor, and basically be that not just backyard, but really property structure solutions.
yeah,
Something that can fit
yeah,
on 2 acres, 2.5 acres. You have it like laid out really nice, and then a parking lot. Seems to be like
hmm,
what's winning for a lot of independent dealers and independent manufacturers who are just choosing to kind of have everything
yeah,
on site at their plant. But it's interesting that even like as a kind of digital first limited footprint type of a thing, like that's obviously where everybody's heads are going, is like, let's just be the solution for whatever our customers need in their backyard, in their woods, right, in their
yeah,
on at their cabin, like whatever that sort of solution is that they need outside of the actual walls of their home and garage. Let's just be the people
hmm,
who provide that, right? I mean, is that kind of, I mean,
yeah,
it seems like, I know we're spitballing, we're just percolating, but it's just interesting to me that
yeah.
that's kind of where everybody's minds are tracking toward.
Shed builders, if you're looking to boost efficiency and improve your truss and component production, you need to know about IFAB LLC. We've been building shop-tested, builder-approved equipment since 2011, and we specialize in reliable, durable solutions for real-world shed manufacturing. From truss presses and our adjustable jig to the precision door table, forklift building movers, and three-point building movers, IFAB equipment is designed to help small shops and large production operations run smoother. And if you haven't seen our latest truss saw system, you're missing out on some major upgrades, like an integrated stop system, pneumatically automated slider saw, integrated scrap conveyor, and a standalone elevating conveyor. These innovative options are helping shops cut faster, cleaner, and more consistently than ever. Whether you're expanding production or tightening up your workflow, we're here to help. Visit IFAB LLC to explore our machines or give us a call. Let's talk about improving your shop. IFAB LLC, simple, innovative solutions for the shed industry.
Yeah. No, that's interesting too. Like I haven't done too much research into that. But it'd be something that I'm like I've thought of, and it's just like you drive past a store that sells certain products and you're like, I think that would go well alongside of our products too, right? And I mean, one thing too, then metal buildings, I know that's a big thing that people add on, and I think that that's something too looking at getting into possibly, but
You probably have
see
to
what,
do post frame up there, right? Because the metal tube stuff is that I'm never quite sure where that, the snow they
snow
always talk
load.
about snow load.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm not too sure exactly. I haven't looked too much into that, so
yeah.
I can't say for sure.
I know there's some kind of beefed up models, where you have the bracing closer together and everything else. I'm not going to pretend to be a snow load expert either, but I've heard it talked about. We should probably get Jared Ledford of the Steel Kings to come on and do a little guest spot here on the show and talk about those type of things. But well, I
Yeah.
think one of the things that all independent dealers out there, are looking for eventually is really to chase the type of automated workflows that lead to the type of lifestyle that you've kind of showcased here today, and be able to do the things you want to do, work
Mhm.
for a couple hours a day in really focused time, versus spending 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 hours of
Yeah.
putting out a bunch of fires. So what does this year hold? What exotic locale are you going to be selling sheds from this year, Adam?
This year is all Edmonton only. I'm locking down the fort. Even though it's tough now, I'm like, it's cold outside. I want to leave because it's like I can leave. But no, this year I'm focusing, but going to Italy in July, which that'll be interesting because that's just like a family trip. I have family out there.
Yeah.
So that's for fun. And then it'll be interesting with an 8-hour time difference. But
Oh gosh, you're gonna have to be a night owl over there.
yeah, like or I think I'll just focus on more like the morning crowd, like
Right.
'cause I mean lots of these people they'll be up really early, and I mean you can talk to them then too, but we'll see what happens. I'll interested to see how that goes, but I think on the automation side and all that too, it's just keeping it simplified. Like, I mean, you can automate as much as you want, but for me, in the beginning, when I was playing around with a lot of my system and trying to create it, I was like, okay, let's try to automate everything. Let's try to do this, do that. But at the end of the day, then I ended up taking out a lot of it in exchange for simpler systems and making it easier. And that's something I've said too on the Facebook page, stupid, simple systems, sell sheds or whatever it was. But like,
Yeah, right.
it's
Right.
you gotta you can't complicate the sales process because really at the end of the day they want to speak to somebody that's human. They want to speak to somebody that knows that can answer their questions. And I mean, like, there's lots of AI things that you can implement, but
Yeah.
I just like keeping it clean, easy, couple text follow-ups, couple email follow-ups that they go out automatically so that I don't always need to worry about touching base with these people if I forget. But then too, when they're later on in the stages of possibly wanting to buy within the next couple of months, you don't want automated text going out to them all the time. You want to be able to personally call them up. Like, something that I always do is in our CRM, there's a notes tab. So I remember this clearly. There was a guy, I called him sometime and then he mentioned that he was going to Mexico. And so then I wrote in the notes, going to Mexico. So then next time I hop on the phone with him a month later, I bring up, how was Mexico? And he's like, yeah, it was good. Like, and he's like, what, how do you remember that? Right. So, and then that's also establishing that connection, making them trust you more, realizing that they're a person that cares about you and wants your business too. Right. So,
Man, it's crazy because I think, you do good videos, and obviously you're very straight to the point, stupid,
yeah.
simple system, sell
Yeah.
sheds, quad, a quintuple S, I suppose.
I
Uh,
don't even know.
uh, but I think, people would take that at face value and say, oh, well, Adam, if he's managing to travel the world and sell sheds, he must never touch these customers until they're already ready to buy. But the bottom line is follow-ups, being a good salesperson, building
Yeah.
trust, genuinely caring about your customers. Like, there's just not going to be a replacement for that, right? And AI, I think, is good for a lot of things now. It's doing good, and it can generate great ideas. It can generate great copy. even, right? If you're writing a post or you're
Copy
making a
too.
flyer, you
Yeah.
know, like it's good at all that stuff, but trusting it to act like a person, like it ain't that, you know.
No,
It ain't
no,
that.
it's
Um,
never going to replace that.
you know, and how do you feel about these AI? You know, some people might call it slop videos. Adam,
Oh
I don't know.
yeah, I've said that. I said that too on the one video I posted, and I sent that video to my dad, and he's like, "Stop swearing in the video." But yeah, like I don't know. I don't think AI for a lot of things. I use it sometimes for images,
Yeah,
but videos right now, it's just not good in my opinion. It just doesn't show it properly. Images, it's good to you send it a photo of your unit and then you
right.
tell it
Touch
put
it
it in
up. Yeah,
this situation or whatever. Add a truck in the building or whatever, right?
right, right.
Just to kind of make it look more lived in kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good for that for photos, I think, but for videos,
Well,
nothing
and
nothing beats.
the customer's expectation for a video right now is lower than ever. Like
Yes.
literally get your phone out, hold it up at an angle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Talk to them like a person because nobody is expecting some crazy level of editing or you know
No.
what I mean? Like it's really simple. Like get 3 or 4 or 5 just good shots and then just cut them together. Right.
Yeah. Well, and if you watch any of my videos, they start out, like I said, 10-minute clip in the beginning.
In second
Or
clip.
sorry, 10 seconds, 10-second clip in the beginning.
You
And
lose people.
then
You lose people.
I would, yes, you got to keep
Don't do
it.
10 minutes.
No, do not do that. But 10-second clip there in the beginning. Introduce yourself. It's not high energy either. It's
Right.
like
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
chill and
even
trustworthy.
my tone is super quiet, calm, really, really slow too, because it's not like you're trying to blurt out a bunch of words at these people.
Right.
And then I'm just flip the camera around and then you go through the model. Typically, I do it in one take. If you know your product, you should have that spiel pretty much down pat. And then at the end of it, you want to throw in a call to action. Always want to throw in a call to action. So what you gotta direct the person that's viewing it what you want them to do. You don't want them to choose what to do because a lot of the times they don't know what they want to do, right? So
Yep, exactly.
and that's directing them to our website or giving us a call.
Yep.
So
Simple.
yeah,
Not crazy
simple.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, thank you so much, dude. This has been a great conversation. In fact, I'd like to, you know, I think we should just make this whatever, you know, once a quarter, once every
For
6
sure.
months, because I feel like you are you know, you're in this growth phase. You're obviously enthusiastic. You're big on systems, but you're also big on all the stuff that all of the listeners, right, are big on, which is like just do the job, right?
Yeah.
Just do the job. Now your point is, well, sure, but I can do the job with a lot higher volume of people if I have systems with a lot higher volume of potential customers if I have my systems on board. But yeah, then I'm going to be Adam, right? Then I'm going to be a salesperson who cares about my customers, who follows up, and who puts the time and the work in, and is whatever, walking away from some nice pool, you know, in Brazil because the phone's ringing and like you got to sell a shed in Alberta. You know,
Yeah.
it's just got to
Yeah.
happen. So
Yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta answer those marketplace listings within 5 minutes, emailing people,
got to do
just
it.
easy stuff. And you can do it all from your phone pretty much.
Right.
So there's no excuses why you can't, in my opinion.
Well,
So
and enjoy Italy. And I'm going to mark it down here. I'm going to make a note for myself. Adam is visiting Italy. And next time we talk, I'm going to ask you how it went.
okay, there you go. There you go, Chris.
All
Love
right,
it.
Adam. Thank you very much for joining us today and listen in next time to the Shed Geek podcast.
Thanks again, Shed Pro, for being the Shed Geeks studio sponsor. If you need any more information about Shed Pro or about Shed Geek, just reach out. You can reach us by email at info@shedgeek.com or just go to our website, www.shedgeek.com, and submit a form with your information, and we'll be in contact right away. Thank you again for listening, as always, to today's episode of the Shed Geek podcast. Thank you and have a blessed day.